What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. I need to take a little bit of time to talk about the Freedom Convoy, break away from the election, although it is partially involved in the election because a lot of things hang in the balance when it comes to the sentencing of Tamara Lich and Chris Barber. Don't forget that we're in the middle of a federal election. And I think that a lot of what's happening when it comes to their sentencing is bordering around the result of this election. I think that judges are waiting to see who's in charge in government. I wouldn't doubt that that's part of what's happening. But Tamara and Chris, their pandemic hasn't ended. We talk about house arrest, when we talk about the limitations they've been put through as they went to Ottawa to defend our rights. A lot of people are complaining that Pierre hasn't said anything about the miscarriage of justice. And again, while I am friends with Viva Fry and I like Viva, no beef with Viva, I just found it a little weird that he's on social media complaining that Pierre hasn't said anything. But if he did, that's technically interference because sentencing hasn't concluded. I kind of figured as a lawyer, Viva might know that. Again, I'm not making excuses for Pierre. And if Pierre says nothing once said case is concluded, then absolutely, I think something needs to be said. But some new ground has broken on the sentencing of Chris and Tamara that I want to talk about. Something, if you haven't been on social media, that maybe you're missing. Again, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, put a thumbs up and a comment on this one. Anything Freedom Convoy related immediately gets censored on this platform. Your subscription, your thumbs up, your comment, all helps push this out and tell people that this channel is growing. People are interested in this video, and it's important that people get this information. Now, as their court date wrapped up, we were told that the 16th of April was going to be their sentencing date. That hasn't happened, or at least the date to set sentencing. What Chris Barber has run into now really makes me question the law. It makes me question, what is this really about? Here's his post on the 16th. Bad news. Crown prosecutor seeks 2-year prison for Tamara Lich and myself for defending freedom. They want to seize and auction my truck, Big Red. Red's family carried my son, dog, and 3.4 million kilometers, led the Freedom Convoy in 2022, uniting us. Liberals aim to erase hope and convoy spirit to deter dissent. Of course, picture of Big Red sitting down below here. What's interesting about this is it's not just seize and auction his truck now. They're wanting it dismantled. They want to crush and destroy Big Red. This is Chris's property, I might add. Where does the government get the right to take Chris's property that he's paid for, that he uses to earn his living with, and just dismantle it or auction it off? It's not the government's property to auction off. With no lien on the truck, they can't just repossess it unless he was delinquent on payments. This is a travesty. I want to remind everybody while you're sitting here, when we do live streams until the end of the month, all super chats over $20 will be added to the pile for Tamara Lich's appeal through the Democracy Fund. If Chris Barber announces an appeal as well, I will split the donation so that both of them are getting funds. All of our book sales on Amazon, all of our merch sales till the end of the month, all of it. Same with the super chats over 20 till the end of the month. And that includes gifted memberships, are going to Tamara and Chris. I fully support them. They're friends of mine. My children call Tamara Auntie Freedom. They love when she comes to visit. They're both dear friends. The fact the government wants to seize Chris's truck, absolutely absurd. On top of 2 years in jail, keep in mind, this is mischief we're talking about. The same as getting, like spray painting a wall or breaking a window. Here's Tamara's tweet talking about where they're at with their court case, by the way. We weren't able to secure a date yesterday for sentencing hearing, and instead another speak to was set for April 28th. So again, another mishmash. They're going to go all the way to Ottawa to sit in a courtroom and have them chit-chat about, well, when are we going to set a date? What are we going to do? Maybe they'll add more things. Maybe they'll try to repossess Chris's house and burn it to the ground or dismantle it. Who knows? It says, in addition to time needed to enter numerous impact statements, coincidentally and conveniently comprised of individuals suing for $300 million. So I think she's referring to Paul Chump and Zexi Lee. The Crown has added a forfeiture order to seize Big Red, which will add significant time to argue. Therefore, I suspect all parties will need to find 4 to 5 days in their schedules for the sentencing hearing. The Crown is also seeking 2 years in federal prison for each of us. Keep in mind, Tamara was put in solitary confinement for, I believe it was close to 2 weeks following the convoy. She was arrested for taking a photo with somebody by the Gestapo government. And now they want to throw her in for another 2 years? 3 days were tentatively set aside at the end of May for a stay of proceedings application put forth yesterday by Miss Magus on Chris Barber's behalf. That's Chris's lawyer. And so the longest mischief trial of all time continues to plod along, still no end in sight. This is ridiculous. This is, again, a miscarriage of justice. I don't agree with what's happened here. 2 years in federal jail for a peaceful protest, when you compare this to what's happening in our streets in Toronto, in Montreal, across the country, burning of our flags, death to Canada chanting, threatening the police. I don't see anybody getting handcuffed, charged with mischief, having their property seized, thrown in jail, told they can't leave their homes, they can't work at their jobs. In fact, our government gives them coffee and props them up. When is enough enough? I again understand why Pierre is not allowed to say anything right now, but I certainly hope once this is concluded, he says once and for all where he stands. We all know he was on the overpasses during the trucker convoy giving out food to truckers. He applauded truckers. They've talked about truckers in their speeches. But there stands a legal line to what Pierre can and can't say until this is concluded, until it's wrapped up. Let me know what you guys think down below. Also, please make sure, if you haven't yet, if you want to get yourself something nice, again, head over to our shop channel. Go to Amazon, pick up any of our books. Our best-selling books, I might add. All proceeds are going to help the appeal. Head over, get yourself something nice. It helps us. Again, I hope to see you on our live streams. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, again, let our large Fringe majority continue to grow. Hit that button. Join me live tonight and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where we talk about everything that happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead. Again, we'll be talking a lot about the debates, about the polls, about everything happening outside of the debates that's leading up to this election. I think it's going to get nasty before we see an end to this election. So join me live. It all starts at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel, while I'll be joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe to hear what you guys have to say outside of making these videos. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.